Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Chetan Kumar and I'm a senior data analyst. I have over 8 years of experience working on data. I worked on multiple domains like marketing, sales, supply chain, finance, and today we are going to learn Waffle Chart. Before we get started, please do like and subscribe to my channel and leave a comment if you have any doubts and even if you like the video. Let's get started. Let's connect to the sample superstore dataset. So this dataset is available on Tableau public platform, so you can go ahead and download from the sample dataset. And we are going to work on orders as we are going to develop waffle chart, so we only need the data that's available in the orders. So waffle chart. So waffle chart is a grid chart. So it splits the entire data set into grid and then it assigns what percentage of the percentage each category owns. So for example, if you're looking into region, so for your particular company, how it's performing in each region around the world. So that answers you can get from this. It's not only based on the company, even if you have a product, how each product is performing, or if there's a new product launch, how new product is performing in which particular region there's a more demand or high demand, or which particular month there is a high demand. So there are multiple answers you can get from this particular waffle chart. So let's get started. So before that, let's do the data densification technique. So we are going to create a calculated field called path. If ship mode equals first class, then 1, else 100, and so let's create, next step is to create the bins. So we are going to keep the size of the bin as 1. Next step is to create a parameter. So let me just create the parameter. So we are going to create the parameter called columns. And we are going to give the current value as 10. So there will be each grid will be split into 10 blocks. For that particular reason, we are creating this particular column. So next step, what we need to do is we need to create an index. And we're going to do it starts from 1. Next, we need to create the rows. So we have created the index field, so we're going to use the same index calculation divided by the parameter column that we have created. And next we are going to create columns. So for this particular column, we need the same index field that we have calculated, and we're doing the mod of the parameter column. So we have everything available now, the calculations that's required to create the grid. So let's get started with the grid. So we are going to work on the region. So let's drag region to columns. Let's drag column to column shelf. And let's drag rows to row shelf. Next, what we are going to do is we have to create bins. So let's drag bins in the row shelf and just check if the show missing values is checked. If not, please check this and then drag this to the detailed column. And now we are going to compute the column field using the path that we have created. Same thing we're going to do with the rows. So it looks unaligned, right? It's the grid is little tilted. So why it is tilted? The reason behind is if you hover over any of the shell As you can see, the row along path is taking 5.500. It's taking the decimal value. For that reason, it's tilted. So to eliminate these and have a proper grid, what we can do is we can go back to the row shelf and convert this into an int. So we read only the values that is before the decimal. As you can see, we have a proper grid available. So next step is to get the sales, right? So let's drag sales. So for that, we have to create a calculated field called sales. So it will be Windows sum of sum of sales. You just copy this and we are going to create another calculated field. The value stays same, but the way it's calculated will be different. We'll look into it going ahead. Next, we are going to create the percentage. Percentage. So percentage will be Windows calculation that we created for sales divided by same Windows calculation by total sales. Next, we need to color the grid, right? Based on percentage, so it stands out. Each grid stands out. So for that particular reason, we need to create a Windows color. So what we're going to do here is if index, the calculation that we have created, divides by window max of index. If it is less than the percentage, then color. Else gray. We have the calculate field ready. So now this will just split the data into color and grid. Let's click OK. Now what we need to do is we need to just drag the calculation that we have created as percentage, convert it into discrete, need to use the color in the color shelf, and let's compute using path bin. And next is to drag the percentage and make it compute using path and make it discrete. And after that, let's go to edit table calculation. So in Windows sales is calculated based on path, but Windows totals, as we mentioned, we are going to create a different viewpoint, like the calculate way it's calculated, computed, it will be different. So now we have the data available here. So as you can see, your grid is ready. So let's flip the grid. So let's add, let's format the data. Before that, let's do an edit access and reverse it. So you have the percentage that is that comes on top and remaining is left down. So if it is gray, just click on gray. Now, as you can see, everything is here, right? Now, what we can do is go to let's color them individually. So we have each grid with a different color. So we can what we can do is Windows Max Max of. So, we are working on region, right? So let's get region and click OK. So now as you can see, it's split by region. Now what we can do is we can leave as it is. So gray is marked as gray, but other categories are with different colors. As it is, let's make it solid. Let's convert it into a circle and let's increase the size so it's a little bit more clear. So as you can, let's make this gray a little bit lighter gray. Yeah, and let's format the percentage and let's increase the size. Or let's keep it 14 and let's format even the region. Let's make it darker shade and let's hide so header and even hide this and even hide this. As we know, these are the regions, so we don't need this header. So as you can see now, it answers your questions, right? How each category is split and which particular region is performing well. As you can see, it's 31.58%. West is performing well. East is performing the second highest. Least is the south. But this you can analyze in a different way too. So let's drag a subcategory in the filter and let's select all and show as filter. If we check for accessories, as you can see 36.51, so even west is the highest. But if you want to look on arts, or let's look on different categories. For example, if we remove arts, still west is performing well with respect to arts. What about machines? So as you can, if you click on machines, it shows east is performing better than others. So this will help you to understand how each of your product categories are performing well and which particular region it's high in demand. So you can even split based on month, you can split based on year. So that will help you to understand, for example, a particular product, how it is, which particular month it is sold more, right? So that will give you the demand for that particular product in that particular region. So this chart is really helpful with respect to those kind of use case that we discussed. And if you have any doubts regarding this particular waffle chart, please get back to me on the comments and I'll clear your doubts. Thank you so much for joining and have a good day. See you in the next session.